It's a drug we don't hear about as much as we used to, meth. Tougher laws and more vigilant enforcement in Tennessee and across the nation helped curb the meth epidemic that started back in the 90s. But its effects are still very present in ways you probably don't realize. Channel 4's Ann Marshall is here with more.
Well, a federal law in 2006 made it harder to get medication like this containing ephedrine and pseudoephedrine, the main component of meth. And a couple years ago, Tennessee also strengthened its laws with the nation's first statewide registry of convicted meth dealers. Still, the consequences are overwhelming some local facilities.
Oh, you did need to burp, didn't you?
Every new mother knows this time doesn't last nearly long enough, and 3-week-old Mason's mother may cling to his youth even tighter since hers disappeared not too long after diapers did.
I started doing drugs when I was 7 and went to rehab at 14.
19-year-old Jennifer is one of the growing number of homeless women who lived through the meth epidemic and lived with its consequences.
It was an explosion. It was boom, you know, and so the consequences of that are going to be, you know, the ripple effects are going to be, you know, kind of there for a little bit.
Cliff Treadway with the Nashville Rescue Mission says many women who end up here have husbands in jail, or their homes were seized after a lab was found, or they're still struggling with addiction.
You hear about it all the time. It's everywhere.
In Jennifer's case, Mason's dad, who she says was a dealer, kicked her out while pregnant.
I found out a little bit more about it from a couple girls here that actually bought drugs from him.
When she got here, it was cramped quarters. Their capacity is 80. For the last couple of years, they've been running up to 150 a night.
You know, we've got people sleeping in the chapel.
Treadway believes while the meth epidemic isn't solely to blame, it's a large contributor.
You're okay.
But there's one small person Jennifer hopes will never know all she ever has.
I pray that I have the strength to raise him to the best ability as I can, and, you know, that's the way that God wants me to, and that's all I can do.
And there are plans to expand the Nashville Women's Shelter because of the increase in need. The number of homeless women is growing nationwide.